Really, Kim needed to say, all you have to do is have a dad who's a lawyer who represents one of the most famous athletes of all time to ever murder somebody.
Yeah.
Win that case.
Yeah.
Die. Have your mom remarry an Olympic gold medal athlete.
Fuck yeah.
Who goes from he to she.
Damn right.
On television with your own reality TV show.
Yeah.
Make a sex tape.
That too.
And then you'll make it.
Yeah.
That's what she meant. That's what she needed to say.
That's exactly what she meant.
Lights, camera, action.
UPS, you piece of shit.
I was like, you know what I want to do one day? I want to join a gang.
We're in 2022. Upgrade the cameras. We can see Saturn and shit, but like I can't get a clear picture of someone robbing the gas station.
That was the greatest night in the history of television.
I guess the billionaire isn't shaped so much like a beach ball.
Yeah.
You look at the billionaires, and I mean, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
He's in good shape.
He's in good shape. He's got a shape. He's a weird...
Shape shifting.
Yeah, potentially.
You know?
Potentially.
Well, that's the thing is like these guys can afford, I'm sure, to have the foods, the access to equipment, the time. I think that's more than anything is time is like these people can pay for other people to do the monotonous stuff.
Yeah.
While they get to do more important things for themselves. Like, dude, I hate getting gas.
Right.
I hate it. There's never a convenient time to get gas, ever. Not once.
Never.
Never have you been driving and been like, oh, you know what? It is perfect. The timing couldn't be better for me to stop at the gas station and get gas right now.
And never do you leave your house just to get gas.
No.
It's always accompanied with other things you may or may not want to do.
Yeah, it's usually after a long day at work and you just want to get home, but you know, like, I should stop. I should stop here because if I don't stop at this gas station now, I'm going to have to leave my house that much earlier tomorrow on the way to my next thing. And that's just, I'm going to be late. I know I'm going to be late.
And you never do it the next day. If you have 20 miles left and you go home 20 miles, I'm going to get up the next morning early and I'm going to go before work. You get to work, you're on 5 miles.
Yeah.
And you got to push your car to that gas station after work.
You're riding on fumes.
You're fuming.
You're taking the route that allows you to just coast downhill to work.
Right. I need to have more sympathy for that because I think that's a big pet peeve of mine. And my mom and my girlfriend know that well because they're definitely the types where they're like, 20 miles left? Nah.
Yeah.
And me, I'm like having a panic attack for them about running out of gas.
Yes.
And I'm like, just get gas. And they're like, no. And I'm like, please.
Yeah.
And they're like, what, for you? And then I have to realize I'm being incredibly unreasonable and trying to control people again.
And they call you out on it.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I think the only person that I know in the history of ever is my dad, who goes to get gas just to get gas.
Right. Dads will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably because he's been through what we've experienced.
Yes.
Where he's been close a few times and he understands like, no, I'm already out. I already got pants on. Let me just go get gas real quick.
Yep. Dads do that. My dad's very intense about, he'll drive around on that 20 miles of gas until he finds the right gas price. He'll do extra driving just to get a good gas price. And he'll run himself down to the fumes for a penny.
So he has to ration his tank. So he's got full tank.
Yeah.
Quarter tank, half tank, and the last quarter tank is finding more gas tank.
Finding more, yes.
That's genius.
Isn't it?
Okay, I see the inner workings though. I might have to do that for myself.
Yeah. I'm an anxious gas getter.
Yeah.
My shit never hits less than a quarter.
That's good. I definitely was never that good about it. And it actually used to drive my dad crazy.
Okay.
He would get on me. He'd be like, he was like you.
Yeah.
He would get nervous for me.
Yeah.
My gas light would come on and I'd see it and I'd be heading to school. And I'm like, well, I hope God's on my side today.
That gaslight is like, for me and your dad, that gaslight is like fucking 911 emergency. That'll sink our stomachs for a whole day. Knowing you're riding around on that, and we're just sitting there like, how could anybody do that and be okay with it? But it's not that big of a deal, but it's funny.
Well, I think it comes down to it's the little things.
It is,
because I experienced in high school the little things were the hardest for me to complete. I would do a big project. And I was a huge procrastinator, but I would still do it.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always procrastinated on, always, was the syllabus. Every semester, what did we have to do? We had to read a syllabus, take it home, get it signed. Every time. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get past that mental block of just take this paper out, hand it to my parents, have them sign it. That's the easiest thing in the whole world.
Right.
And I couldn't do it, ever.
Wow.
I don't know why.
And you were getting consistent zeros on your very first assignment.
On the syllabus, out the gate, it's like, hey, this is kind of the easiest it's ever going to be for you. So I'll give you another day.
Yeah.
Get this signed.
They're like, yeah. They're coming at you the same way the dad comes at you for that gaslight.
Yes.
They're like, Estevan. We'll give you another chance. But now, did you, in college, did that carry forward, or did you get past that?
No, I don't think I've ever gotten past that.
Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just manifested into different ways. Like it went from syllabus to gas tank.
Right.
But I don't think we ever really had syllabi, if you will, that we had to get signed in college.
You're right. There was never a sort of syllabi to be signed, per se. I guess sometimes they're like, read it. Maybe like, well, this was more like the online classes, like read the syllabi and then take a 5-point quiz on it.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
There was some of that, or some of the easiest work I ever had, I think, was like we would have a class. And the class was in person, but we would do a lot of our stuff online.
Right.
And like on there, it would be go on there and write, the best vacation you ever took.
Oh, yeah.
And comment on 3 other people's.
Yeah.
And when you say that to someone with a mindset like mine, or any of you out there who can relate, it's like, it's bad enough that I have to think about the best vacation I've ever had.
Yeah.
That's already hard.
Right.
Now I have to go and BS some comments on 3 other people's vacations.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And now I'm thinking like I have this thing too where I hate writing cards for some reason. Mm-hmm. I've always hated it because to me, I would just much rather show up to the function. Here's your gift. Say what I want to say to you with words.
Right.
I hate sitting down and writing out a card. I'm sorry to anyone who's listening that has gotten a card from me, but I probably hated writing that card.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like, because you how many ways can you say the same thing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've wished you happy birthday for 10 years. It's going to probably be the same this year, or it's the worst when you're writing thank you cards.
Oh, geez.
And you got to write them en masse, like for graduation stuff. And it just, after a while.
That, I guess I never got around to doing those.
Oh,
so.
okay. My mom made sure that I did that I did those. So I had to do it. And
did you try to make them specific to the person?
I did. And I think that's where it got me.
That's tough.
And my dad, who the same one who worries about my gas tank, he would always tell me about cards. He still tells me, like, don't make it complicated. Just write like happy birthday, love you, thank you.
Right.
Whatever. And I'm in my head, I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's too, why even bother?
Yeah.
What a waste of a card if I'm not going to actually say something meaningful. Same with the thank you cards. I felt like I addressed everyone by who they were. I tried to be specific as to the gift that they gave me.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know.
Now that's interesting. It brings you a lot of tension to write the card, but you can't allow yourself to do it mediocre.
That's weird, right?
Yeah. You're like, I'm only going to do this if I do it right, but that's the problem.
That's the problem, is it takes a lot to do it right, and I don't want to do all that, but
yeah, in the past I've had no problem doing a relatively there was a lot of times in your life, where when you're signing a card with multiple other people.
Yeah.
So it's like your mom gets the card and then you just put your name on it. Happy birthday, your name. But yeah, in the adulthood then, it does become a specific. I think I'm in my Michael Jordan of card writing era currently.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not going to lie.
So you're poetic with it.
My cards have been amazing. When's your birthday? Let's get you one.
Mine is November 1st.
That's okay.
So you got some time.
Did I tell you happy birthday this year?
Maybe.
I hope so.
Probably. I'm sure.
Being in recovery has been a lot about trying to remember to be a good, caring, loving person or friend.
Yes.
And then like every time someone I'm close to has a thing that I realize has already passed, I'm like, oh my God, did I say happy birthday?
Yeah.
But we'll get you a card next year. I'll kill it.
Yeah. All right.
2 cards ago, for another good pal of mine, I threw a Bible verse on there.
Ooh.
You mean business when you put a Bible verse on there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very preachy. It was about, and this friend's in recovery too, and it was about maintaining a childlike innocence as we move forward in our adult lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, lest he become like a little child, will then he enter the kingdom of heaven. I butchered that.
Wow.
But, you get the point.
Sounded about right.
Yeah, you get the point on that.
Yeah.
And then for Valentine's Day this year, for my lady, I think I topped it off by saying, let us never forget. I mean it like sincerely, but I don't know why it's making me laugh. Because it's like kind of awkward to say out loud. I said, let us never forget that we are merely 2 souls connecting within the universe.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
Wow.
I'm in my girl boss era of writing cards. Right
You're
now.
you're in your Edgar Allan Poe.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in your Charles Dickens.
Mm-hmm. If you're getting a card from me right now, you're in for a treat.
That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I think the only time I've ever enjoyed something like that is when I can have fun with it. Because to me, it sounds like you're having fun with it.
A little bit. Yeah, I'm having fun.
So one of the only times I can think that I did that was in high school. And I was going on vacation in the summer during workouts for football.
Right.
And so we had to prove that if we were going to be absent, we had to prove that we were actually going. So the coaches made us send a postcard from wherever we were as proof. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah. And so I got a postcard from wherever I was, and I wrote on it, "The scenery is here. Wish you were beautiful." And I sent it.
Brilliant.
And still proud of that. Still proud of
Yes.
that postcard. I didn't have to run laps or anything because I made them laugh with it.
Good.
They brought it up in the meeting. They were like, "We got a postcard from someone that said the scenery is here. Wish you were beautiful." And so yeah, I mean, that was one of the only times I can remember being like, I know what I'm going to say.
I like that. What year of football was that?
That might have been sophomore, junior year.
I may have been around. Junior year, I wasn't around. When did you quit football?
Junior. Well, after junior. I didn't play freshman and I didn't play senior.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I did freshman, sophomore.
So we only had 1 year together.
We did.
But I think maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should take that approach. It kind of backfired on me, though, one time for a graduation for my cousin.
Okay.
And we went out to Arizona. and everyone was passing this like book around that had pictures, and we were signing it almost like a yearbook.
Yeah.
And everyone had stuff, and it got to me, and again, my brain block. I was like, this is shit again.
Right.
I don't know what to say. And so I sat there for real for like 30 minutes at the table.
Yeah.
And people are like waiting for the book, and I'm like, man, I don't know what to say. And I think I said something like, congratulations on graduating. Sorry all those years ago when I hit you in the head with a rock.
That's so good. What? How does this backfire?
I don't, cause and then like they read it and they were like, that took you 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, thanks. All right.
Right.
You know?
You gotta be like, I mean, did Michelangelo paint the Sistine Chapel in 5 seconds?
Right. No, he didn't paint it over lunch.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't remember who made the Mona Lisa, but did he?
She, they,
them?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Did whoever sculpted that one guy with his wee out?
With his wee
going like
out.
this with the lip?
Yeah.
Did they sculpt that,
What
on
a
Sunday
funny...
morning?
You're right, with the lip.
Yeah.
He does that.
Well, he's kind of like posing and it's like this.
Yeah.
And his cash and prizes is showing.
Sexual fluidity has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Sure.
I'm saying that as a good thing.
It's not new.
I think a lot of people might look at that and go, that's a picture of masculinity. But now that you've brought that to my attention, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more bisexuals in ancient Greece than probably anything.
Makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder. Then there's the thinker.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
What's that one again?
He's doing this.
Oh, yeah. Arm, elbow propped, face resting on chin.
Thinker.
Chin resting on fist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I do remember that one.
Yeah. So anyways, 30 minutes for that. That's a solid piece of work.
Yeah.
I bet you it was the most unique take on that.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else has probably hit him in the head with a rock.
Right.
And then brought it up 10 years later as an apology.
Well, see, the thing about that is that shows it's comedic, it's brilliant, and then it shows a deep bond.
Yeah.
It's like I don't forget our memories, even if they involve hitting you in the head with a rock.
Yeah. And it was not a small rock. I felt really bad. We were at a river, and this was like a scene out of a movie. But we were at a river, and everyone was like at the edge, and they were skipping rocks.
Yeah.
And here I am, the shy kid, as I always was growing up. And they were like, go play with your cousin. And these aren't like my first cousins, so I wasn't super duper close with them. I would see them once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah.
And so it took a little bit to coax me out of my shell, but I finally worked up the courage. I was like, I'll go skip rocks with them. And then I picked up this one that was shaped pretty big.
Yeah.
But it was shaped like a skippable rock. And I threw it, but I didn't throw it hard enough. I was elevated. Let me paint the picture. Here's the river down here.
Okay.
A slight elevation, and I'm standing above them.
You had the high ground.
I had the high ground.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I threw the rock, and it nailed him in the back of the head. Didn't even make it to the water. Just
didn't even make it to the water. Oh no.
I've never skipped a rock since.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding. No. Yeah, he gave me the dirtiest look. Oh
yeah.
man.
That's that. Yeah. That's that. I know we're family, but I barely see you. If you hit me in the head with a rock again, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah. And I was like, try me. You've seen what I can do with a rock.
Yeah, right. And I have the high ground.
And I still have the high ground.
Anakin.
So balls in your court.
Balls in your court. Well, what's even funnier about that is, of course, it took you 30 minutes to write a thing because it's your cousin who you barely see maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, now those are hard. Now, if I had one of those, yeah, I'd be stumped. I would not be poetic, probably. I'd probably be like, holy shit, I got to dig deep into the vault
Yeah.
to get me something for this.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be tough.
It's tough. And it's like, again, it's that thing where I hate doing it, but if I'm going to do it, I want to do it well. I don't want to just write congrats !
Right.
For whatever reason, I can't get past that.
I mean, have you ever done an Ancestry.com, a 23andMe?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't because I've heard there's a conspiracy about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, there is.
There is one, but that's not why I haven't done it.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't been curious enough to try it.
That they're gonna clone you.
Yeah. That they get the DNA, and we'll save that for next week.
Yes.
If you guys come back, if you all come back, we will have a reoccurring guest here. This is going to be our 420 episode.
Woo woo.
It's going to be our guest will be super duper high.
We needed to have someone who would actually be high.
Yeah. Yes.
Because neither of us will be getting high.
Correct. But I think it will just rub off on us.
I hope so.
And we're just going to talk wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're into that, tune in. If you're not into that, tune in, because you will leave still with your mind blown, I bet.
Is our guest aware that we want to go there?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
They come to correct.
Good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it.
Yes.
I really am looking to just have my mind blown, have my world shattered.
I think we can go there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So here we have a palate cleanser before that.
Yeah, this is kind of a little prep. This is just the average Joe.
Just your typical stuff.
Your typical stuff, but it does have a theme, man. The theme is the little things.
The little things.
The little things that are so hard to do for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I can't. What about you? What else do you have that's like that? That it's so easy and you can't do it.
I mean, I do it, but I was just talking about this at work, and it's like a big part of my job is, I can meet with a client, do whatever I got to do with them, but then I have to go and write a note about it on their profile. And it's so easy that it's so hard.
That sounds already, I know that would be the part that I would be putting off.
Yes.
The note afterwards. Because doing what you do, that's like taxing, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's emotional.
Oh, it can be.
If you're having a sesh with this person and it gets intense, or maybe you guys really connect, it could be a great session. It's still a lot of energy.
Right.
And then afterwards, when they leave, you kind of just want to be like, all right, that was nice. I'm done. But now you got to go and revisit it in a way and write a note. Now, what kind of note is this? Is this like how it went?
So they're called DAP notes, which describes the acronym means description, assessment, and plan. So I have to write a description of the interaction, however long it went, and just what happened, what we talked about. I have to do an assessment, and I have to say this client appears to be in the pre-contemplation stage or the contemplation stage of recovery, or so on and so forth. And I have to say evidence of this would be based on, whatever. They're in pre-contemplation because I saw meth fall out of their pocket. And so clearly they're not ready to take that next step. And then the plan is easy. I mean, it's like, plan to meet with this client the same time next week.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And I put it off today. I put it off for I had like 4 to do. And I put it off for I didn't work that much today. My Mondays are so easy. I worked for 4 hours. I put it off for like the first 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then I did all 4 of them in like an hour. Easy.
Easy.
So quick. And it was kind of intricate too. And I mean, I did kind of not harder ones, but ones that I had to do a little more different. And it was, God, I got it all done so fast. I was typing like a maniac. I mean, and I know you know what to say and it's all that. So that's definitely a big one. And most people put it off.
Yeah.
100%. And, and it's like, yeah, we find ourselves, I love working in an office where you can tell that people are just doing things to not go work.
Yeah.
They just like walk in to talk to you and they're just like, so, what are your thoughts on the Ukraine?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, you don't want to work either? Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, and we have a ping pong table at work.
Oh, that's great.
We're like a very, very small, poor version of Google. We just have a ping pong table.
You're like workaholics.
Yeah. We're workaholics.
Yes.
So, what are some other things? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have made a lot of progress in that regard.
That's good. Because procrastination for me has always been just my absolute downfall. Like since high school, probably actually even since before high school.
For sure.
It's like I procrastinate everything, projects, papers. I feel like that's a little different though. Like like a 14-page essay. Come on.
Yeah.
Like there's never a good time to get on that.
When I was still in school, this brief 2 semesters I did, almost 3, I think I got burnt out from trying to do it right. But doing it right is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And it kind of all hit, I was I was printing out every syllabus, reading through it, getting like amazing grades.
Yeah.
Going above and beyond on discussion posts and responses. And I mean, I was doing the most. And I think it caught up to me. There's a good balance that needs to be had, and I think my perfectionism, I'm definitely a procrastinator, 100% have been all my life, but I'm also a perfectionist. And so that it's kind of like a tug of war, but when perfectionist is in control, I will do that until I literally just quit everything that I started.
That's really it though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it is like a perfectionism thing. I've been told that I have a perfectionism flaw, and it's like nothing ever gets made that way.
Right.
From a creative standpoint. And what do they say? Movies don't get made, they escape, or movies don't ever finish, they escape. I mean, I think you could apply that too to music and stuff. There's art like Kanye.
Oh yeah.
He will like work on an album and do a viewing part or listening party, and then go back and work on it more and do another listening party. And Dr. Dre. Yeah. Dr. Dre had the whole Detox album that he was working on and announcing for years, and then he scrapped the whole thing because he hated it.
Right.
So I definitely get that. And that's probably it. You probably hit the nail on the head with that. It's probably a perfectionism thing. And it's in my mind, I'm just like, I don't have the energy to perfect this in a way that I would like it. So I'm just going to procrastinate it.
Yeah, there's that. That's such a big element of it. And that also reminds me of that idea of seems fairly common. I mean, it's just, it's the being overwhelmed with what needs to be done. It's that thing of like, I have so much to do, I'm going to take a nap instead.
Yes.
It's like that one. Too.
Oh, I have had that far too many times.
Right.
Far too many times. But I have actually seen there's a thing about creative minds where like that happens to them. Like I can only describe it as creative exhaustion.
Yes.
Where if you're like, all right, let me sit down and really map out this idea. And before you know it, you're napping. And it's like this thing where like your mind gets too overwhelmed with too many ideas, or the opposite, not enough ideas. And so it's just like exhausting and you get drained. Anyone out there help me out here knows what I'm talking about. But like I've had that so many times, and it makes me feel like I'm slacking. Like, oh, here I am saying I'm working on this thing, but I just took a nap for an hour.
Yeah. You're helping me reflect on a lot of things that have bothered me about creativity for a while.
Yeah.
Because I guess what you're helping me do is kind of take it easier on myself, which I've been working on for a long time, but...
And you should.
You have to. I just feel like it's that, exactly what you said, that exhaustion, and then beating yourself up.
Yeah.
And then just being like, well, I just suck. And I think for me, I'm pretty extreme. And that's where I think my tug of war comes from, like, you know what? I'm just never going to be creative ever again. I'm just going to work in substance abuse treatment. Fuck creativity. Fuck being an artist of any kind. I'm done with that shit. And then everyone's looking at me like, come on, you're not done. Just chill out. Like, take, take 5 seconds, take a 5.
Yeah.
And you're good,
Yeah. Like I've started noticing this more and more, but obviously I'm making a lot more videos now, just in what I'm doing and the client that I have. But it's frustrating when I'll be up for hours, eyes bloodshot. It's late at night and I'm over here like editing, tweaking the smallest things, refining it, just trying to make it quote unquote perfect.
Right.
And I'll put it out and it gets like 20 views.
Yeah.
And of those 20 views, maybe 5 people actually watched it all the way through.
Right.
No comments, no shares, only a handful of likes. And it's upsetting. And then you go and you watch something, not to slam anyone, but you go and watch something like any of these big vloggers, any of these big YouTubers.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that Shane Dawson's huge and he's coming back.
Right.
And I'm watching his stuff and I'm like, I don't even think he puts a microphone on his camera.
Right.
Like it sounds like it's all just on camera audio, because it's not, I mean, the sound.
Yeah.
You know how different it sounds from on camera audio versus someone having even just a little shotgun mic on it.
Right.
A lot of this stuff isn't ever like even white balanced all the way or color corrected. And I think that's the point, right? These vlogs are supposed to be raw. It's supposed to be whatever. But these guys get millions of views. And they, here I am like, let me make sure this is color balanced. I want this lighting to look perfect on this. If that shot wasn't creamy enough, I want to redo it. Tweaking every last little thing.
Right.
And get 20 views, they get 20 million or something. But like, so yeah, I think there is something to just going out and making it. Or even with TikToks.
Yeah.
We'll simplify it.
Right.
When I make a TikTok, I'll bust out my legit camera. I won't even use my phone. I'll shoot it in the vertical format. I'll do all the editing that I can and stuff. And again, I get like 5 likes.
And boy, do you do it. I've seen them. You work your ass off for some of those, man.
I try.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then you see these ones where it's like just a person staring at the screen with some titles on it and 100,000 views, 100,000 likes.
Exactly.
And I'm like, man, me and my friend Matt, we joke about this all the time. We're like, why did we even try? Right. Like, why did we go to school? Why did we get a degree? Why do we have try to invest in good quality equipment?
Yeah. And the algorithm just knows, though, that you're too powerful. I think that's what it is.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, I'm not kidding, but I think that's what fucks with me the most is the ginormous. So before I got sober, I was incredibly grandiose, and I just thought it would be like, like some of these vloggers and stuff who barely do anything and get huge. And I kind of thought I could do that. No problem. Not being a vlogger, but
yeah,
whatever my interests were. I just thought like, I'm great. I'm going to be able to step into this and I'm going to fucking fly off the handle in a good way and make it. And ever since I've been in sobriety, reality has set in incredibly strong. And it's like I can see the mountain in front of me.
Yeah.
There's multiple because I would love to do multiple things. And I'm like, oh my God, these mountains are fucking huge. And it's that one where it's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to climb.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, that's a big ass mountain.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how you get in. The mountain's always going to be big.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be there. And whether it's the little things, and that's easy. But, and now I feel like we're kind of looking at the big things. And that's that's what's even scarier. But it kind of translates because, you know, of course, if I'm kind of that way on a small scale, then when there's real big challenges that take a lot of work and a lot of climbing to get up those mountains, like, yeah, I'm like, well, fuck climbing a mountain. Like, let's build a house and put a couch here and get me a PlayStation and I'm set for life. Fuck a mountain.
NBA?
Yeah, NBA, baby. Fuck a mountain. I'm just going to play this game till I die.
Open up the LeBron James super packs.
There you go. And use that to be my primary dopamine rush.
Yeah.
Until I'm dust in the wind.
Do you know that there's, totally off topic, but kind of, there's TikTok accounts where these people will go live and they'll just open packs of cards. And that's all they do on their live. They just open packs of cards.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
TikTok live is the weirdest fucking place in the world.
You will see everything. Everything on there.
There was that guy. Were you ever seen that guy who was just putting rubber bands on a watermelon until it broke?
Yeah. There's a guy I watch who he does like trick shots on his lives.
Yeah.
And he sets them up. They're intricate. And it's just a ping pong ball trying to get it in something. And they've gotten intricate. And it's so funny because I guess it's just his face, but like a lot of the comments would be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah,
like, he'll just be sitting in a corner and he has this look on his face, and it's late at night and he's just trying to nail this shot. It's like the 2000th attempt,
right?
And people are like, "Are you all right? Are you okay? Are you depressed?"
Who has the time?
Yeah,
and that kind of goes back to a point we were making earlier, and it's like who has the time? And we were talking about like the billionaires who can take the time to do whatever they want for themselves.
Yeah.
They can have all the trainers, they can have the chefs to make the right food, and they're not on food stamps and they're not working 3 jobs or yada, yada, yada. And it's like, that's also a problem. And I understand like there's a lot of, it's Kim Kardashian recently when she said, all you gotta do is get up and fucking work, bitch. You
Literally, you're being so rude.
All you gotta do is get off your fucking ass, you stupid bitch, and fucking work, you dumb whore. And that's what she said.
That's what she said.
You gotta love that Scott Disick is such a good character that they keep him around. You
know?
Yeah. That's when you know you're a good character.
Yeah.
Because that shit, you know. But there's this one TikTok I love, TikToker, and his whole point is to show you that your favorite musical artists didn't pick themselves up by their bootstraps and get famous.
Oh.
He points out every single connection that their family or their parents has to the musical industry.
Ooh, I like that.
Has the wealth that they come from and their ability to like basically pay their way in.
Yeah.
And it's really that thing where I think that's where it gets hard, where, you know, I at least for me, I sit here and I'm just like, man, I gotta put 40 a week just to make it.
Yeah.
And if I lost my job and couldn't find one in a month, I'd be so fucked.
Yeah.
Wouldn't happen. But I'm just saying, you know, when do you have the time to become the GOAT?
Right. I mean, that it's all about who you know.
Yeah.
That's all these industries have ever been.
Right.
It's all about who you know. Really, Kim needed to say, all you have to do is have a dad who's a lawyer who represents one of the most famous athletes of all time to ever murder somebody.
Yeah.
Win that case.
Yeah.
Die. Have your mom remarry an Olympic gold medal athlete.
Fuck yeah.
Who goes from he to she.
Damn right.
On television with your own reality TV show.
Yeah.
Make a sex tape.
That too.
And then you'll make it.
Yeah.
That's what she meant. That's what she needed to say.
That's exactly what she meant.
I wouldn't put it past Kanye, honestly, to take that sex tape.
Yes.
Between the two of them. And do something like that for a new song that he releases about Kim.
Oh, yeah.
And he would just make that, because he did that music video where it was like a bunch of wax figures and like Taylor Swift was one of them.
Yes.
And so, I mean, he did that. I wouldn't put it past him to, I don't know. I'm surprised he hasn't done this yet. It's a very Kanye move.
And what he did most recently is the whole music video with the Pete Davidson looking thing.
I haven't seen it.
He's like holding, it's like claymation.
Oh.
And he's like holding the head of someone who clearly looks like Pete Davidson. It was very controversial. And so that's in his bag of tricks. I mean, that's coming.
That's gotta be. No, pun intended. Pun intended. That's coming.
That's coming soon.
Yes.
And good for him.
Good for Kim.
He's going to use something there. He's going to sample it too on his next album. Mm-hmm. Just like people are saying he's going to sample the Will Smith, Chris Rock.
Oh, come on.
He will.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
He'll sample it. That's just what happens. It's interesting, though, watching the Kanye documentary. Well, here's a couple of things. Because, okay, so there's that whole argument of, it's like, I think it's called nepotism, which I think nepotism kids, which are like kids from privilege who can buy their way into anything and also have the time to do anything they want because their parents can pay their rent in a New York loft.
Yep.
Now, Kanye obviously didn't come from that. You watch his documentary and he comes from humble beginnings, but what he did have was good, supportive, educated parents. And there's some of us who grow up with young parents in kind of dysfunctional, traumatic situations.
Yeah.
We don't have a Donda. Shout out to my mom. I love my mother. She did everything she could to curate my interests and try and get me where I wanted to go. But she was very young when she had me. She spent a lot of my life trying to figure her own life out.
Yeah.
She was a kid. So not all of us have a Donda who can basically tell us, we're the king of the world.
Yeah.
While, Kanye didn't grow up in wealth, but he grew up in, middle class at least.
He was wealthy in support.
Right. He was wealthy in support, very much so.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, it's that thing about how many people from fucked up situations, how many people who could have cured cancer were in the foster care system and became heroin addicts. Like, I don't know,
Right. Yeah.
Who knows?
That's the great moral debate.
That is.
Or maybe the cure for cancer is in the mind of some kid in a third world country who doesn't have access to education.
Right.
And all they need to learn is like how to get that answer out, and they don't.
Or even worse, the cure for cancer is in the mind of a kid who wants to be a Twitch streamer now.
Yeah.
That scares me even more.
Views, baby.
I gotta get them views.
It's all about views and streams and clicks.
A kid who wants to play Fortnite on Twitch.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life.
So yeah, like we were saying, these rich people, they have obviously the ability, because in what I'm doing now, it is very time consuming.
Yeah.
Like to prep all your meals, to do all the juices, to do it's so much time. But at the same time, it's a priority for me.
Right.
So I make the time, but I also think, damn, if I was super rich, I could just pay someone to do this for me and I could accomplish so much more.
Right.
And that's the goal, right? That is actually how the rich get richer.
Right.
Because they pay people to go fill up their car with gas. They pay people to sign their syllabuses, so they don't have to take the time to do that dumb shit. They pay people to sign a card,
right?
Send someone an iPad or a, David Dobrik Tesla.
David Dobrik Tesla.
And then they can go make more millions.
Now, I do want to give a shout out to where things are going, because I don't exactly think it's an entirely hopeless situation. I think what's hard is probably the hardest space is film and television.
Yeah.
To get into those circles, that hasn't really reached, I would say that hasn't really reached a point of independence where it feels like anyone from anywhere has a chance. YouTube, though, has changed things. So that's kind of where I'm going. It's like, as doom and gloom as it is, like the whole point of things like SoundCloud, you know, there's and podcasting in itself, what we're doing has offered a lot of people the ability to get their names out there and make something of themselves in a creative way and monetize it, and like things like Patreon and shit like that, you know, and so the tides are kind of changing in that way, and that's good.
Yeah, and to come full circle, because I meant to make this point earlier, the whole thing about procrastinating, the whole point I was trying to make about people who just do it.
Yeah.
And this is really a message for myself, is to just do it.
Right.
Right? Like I've yet to learn that lesson, even though I know it at the core.
Yeah.
I've yet to be able to apply it, where it's like, just go make the thing. Stop worrying about if it's perfect. And that's actually something I learned too in this book by Dean Graziosi.
Okay.
Some people might like him, some people might not. But it's a book called The Underdog Advantage.
Okay.
And it's basically about applying the mindset of the underdog, and that the advantage the underdog has is that they can just go and do something, and there's not a whole lot riding on it.
Right.
So, you know, for example, Tom Brady, all eyes are on Tom Brady, always.
Mm-hmm.
But when Tom Brady was first getting started, he could mess up a bunch.
Right.
And it was like, okay, I'm just getting started. But if Tom Brady throws 6 interceptions in a game now, it's like, what are you doing, Tom Brady?
Right. Right.
So the underdog advantage is kind of, it's that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still really working on getting out of my own way.
Yeah.
Getting out of my own perfectionism, so I don't procrastinate. So I just go and I just make something, regardless of if I think it's perfect or not. Because clearly, this day and age, with all these platforms we have, there's stuff that is so far below perfect.
Yes.
And it gets hits.
Right.
And people make money off of it. And people can make the next thing because of it.
And that's where the motivation comes in for me. And I know we've talked about that. Like when I watch a bad movie, that's just a reminder, like, okay, I can do this.
Yes.
I can fucking do this.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I'm not the greatest, I think I can do better than that.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. And anything of that matter. Like there's so many things that I feel that way about, where it's like, I mean, okay, I can do that. And it's true. And I think that is the advantage. There's a couple of advantages for people like us. It's the one that you said, the ability to have the time to fuck up and not be under a microscope, you know, because I don't know about you, but there was a period of time where I thought I wanted everything so young, and I was like, I want to make it big by the time I'm 20 or some shit. And it's like, oh my God, if something like that would have happened, first of all, I'd probably be dead. But, you know, it would suck, because not only do I have the time to fuck up, but I have the time to grow. And I think that will be our advantage.
Yeah.
Is that we're able to curate ourselves mentally and spiritually before we go on and do hopefully great things. I hope. I like to believe.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time we get there, we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, we'll have a good foundation.
Yes.
Right? We'll have our roots.
We'll have our roots. We'll have a good foundation, and we would have the potential to not ruin it because of mental or spiritual reasons, or just, you know, or, you know, when you get too much too fast, I mean, you tend to blow it and throw it all away.
No, and I agree. And I feel that pressure, though.
Right.
I still feel that pressure of like, man, I really wanted to be already making it by now, and I'm not. Right. So I feel that pressure for sure, and it gets to me, which it's a cycle. Yeah. Because then I feel that, and then what do? Procrastinate.
Right.
I'm like, well, this is so overwhelming, I'll just deal with this later.
Exactly.
And then years go by and I still haven't done it. And so I'm really, this past year, I've really had to force myself more and more to just do it. I mean, this podcast is proof.
Yes.
We finally just did it.
Yes.
We stopped talking about it and we just did it. And here we are. And like, was it perfect when we started? No, we had one microphone.
We had
We had one microphone. We were leaning in to speak into it.
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about editing podcasts then and like soundproofing.
Right.
But we just did it and we just put it out. And we had like 4 or 5 episodes where we were just using one microphone the whole time. And then we got 2. And then, but had we waited until we had a studio and all of the equipment and all that, like we'd probably still be waiting.
We'd be waiting. We'd be putting it off.
Yeah.
We'd be taking a nap.
Exactly.
We'll get to it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what would be happening.
Or an episode like this, if we were like, man, I've been thinking all week. I don't know what to talk about on the podcast. Let's just not shoot one.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know what we're talking about 90% of the time. Like today, we just talk.
We just do it. And you're right. And what'll happen will be what'll happen.
Yeah.
Those sometimes those are our best episodes.
Yeah.
Not, viewership, maybe not. Now, I guess we're learning we got to talk about the gossip to fucking get the hits and if to get our podcast listened to in the Ukraine.
Right.
Fucking, we got to talk about the
tea.
American fucking illusion.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I've heard the critique already from a few people that they do like the podcast where we focus on one thing, whereas
Right.
these sporadic ones are a little more like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if we really want the hits, man, we talk about some Will Smith stuff. That's our most listened to episode for sure in multiple countries now.
Yeah.
Which is cool, super cool. But at the same time, that doesn't make me want to just be like, oh, that's all we're going to talk about.
No, this whole the spirit of this is supposed to be something that we want to do continuously and regimented because it doesn't create opportunities for procrastination.
Yeah.
Because if we were like, okay, we need to have topics and research and bullet points, we wouldn't do it.
Right.
And then we probably wouldn't record.
Exactly. Exactly.
We'd be like, I didn't get my homework done.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get around to watching the movie we were supposed to.
Exactly.
So, no, I mean, this podcast is actually the perfect example to myself now that it shouldn't be about perfection. Like we just got up and we just did it.
Exactly. And I think these kinds of episodes are kind of like our little self-assessments that I hope the listener can use it as an opportunity to reflect on themselves.
Yeah.
And go like, okay, how am I doing that? Where can I get better in that way? I like to think, all our problems are pretty universal unless you're Kim K or Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
We're not really doing a podcast for them.
No.
They could fuck right off.
They're never going to hear this.
No.
No way in hell.
No.
They don't have time.
No. When you're them, you don't have time.
No.
No.
We're too small. They can't even see us through a microscope.
They have to destroy society.
Yeah,
They don't have time for us.
No.
They don't need to listen to us talk about how they're destroying society.
Not at all.
They know what they're doing.
They're very calculated, I think.
More of that next week.
More of it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
More of that next week on a very conspiracy riddled podcast.
Yes.
With a high ass Tyler Townsley. I hope he maybe, well, no, he really won't be able, maybe he won't be able to listen to this before we record, which will be Friday, which will be when this comes out. So there's a part of me that's like, at what point, depending on his highness level, like at what point do we just start making shit up?
Oh yeah.
And just fucking with him,
Yeah.
And we're just like, well, I don't know if you know this, but you're dreaming right now,
Oh yeah. That's fun. Like this is, yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, when you wake up, check your phone. There will be a message from me.
Yeah.
That says this. And then when he leaves, and then the next morning, I'll make sure at like 4 a.m. I'll send him a text.
Hit him with one of those.
Yeah. So when he wakes up, people are like, no shit.
follow the white rabbit,
Yeah.
make him think he's gonna uncover the truth.
Yeah. That's good. That's fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll have
Okay,
to
we
see.
might have to try to do something
We'll
like
see.
that. I just wonder though, someone like Tyler, this isn't shit talking, but like someone like Tyler, like how much does it take for them to get to that point?
Right.
I would think that his tolerance is pretty high.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like we talked about, we would have to just keep feeding him brownies the whole time and just be like, here,
Yeah.
let's see where you go.
He's a seasoned vet.
Yeah.
He's the type that we could feed him all those brownies and he could probably do a triathlon.
Yeah.
You know?
He'll go cook up the finest steak you've ever had.
Yeah, like he'll be
Right after.
unfazed.
Yeah. He's
He's just like, what do you guys want to talk about? I already have all the secrets of the universe.
yeah.
We're done. We're past that.
He'll blow our minds. Like
Yeah,
he'll be the
yeah.
one telling us we're dreaming and we're gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh shit.
He like just laughs in our face. He's like, oh, that's so funny that you guys think. He's like, I don't know if you realize this, but you're in the upside down. We're
Yeah,
just
right.
like, oh shit. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the more we talk about it, I'm so excited for that because we've talked conspiracies on here before.
Yeah.
But I don't think we haven't had a conspiracy dedicated episode.
No.
I think conspiracy theories are like the sun.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld made this joke in the show, right? It's quick glimpses. You don't
Yes.
stare at the sun. It's a little bit here, a little bit there.
Right.
I think the same applies to conspiracy theories.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Bravo.
Good job. Good job, Seinfeld.
Good. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
So no, that's good. And yeah, and we'll have to, what'll also be good will be to decipher and make sure we are presenting, I mean, lightly fact checking, because I'm not looking to do a fact checked conspiracy episode. I'm looking to go way out there. I'm talking like Hollow Earth,
Yeah.
Antarctica, Earth is flat. I mean, I don't believe it.
I
But
just want to have fun. I
Yeah.
just want to have fun with it. I want to cut loose.
cut little loose.
Yeah.
But making sure that when shit comes up that's true, that we let you guys know so you can look into it yourselves.
Yes.
So that'll be part of it a little bit.
So definitely tune in next week because that's going to be a real fun one. And we're going to have fun. And Tyler's definitely going to have fun.
Oh, he'll have a blast.
Yeah.
And we're in New Mexico. There's ripe conspiracy here in New Mexico itself. So that's perfect.
Roswell, ever heard of it?
Dulce. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, I'll bust it out.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll bust it out.
Bust that out. I guess till next time then.
Yeah.
Stay red. Stay banned.
Stay Redband.
Stay Redband. And definitely tune in next week. Tyler comes to Townsley
Yeah.
with some conspiracies
Yes.
and weed.
We'll have a real high person live in studio.
Yeah. I like it. I like that we talk about it like a talk show host who has
Yeah.
one of those exotic animal trainers on
Yeah.
the show. Like we're going to have a bear on the stage.
Yeah.
We're going to have a real Mongolian tiger.
Yeah. We're going to have an actual person under the influence of cannabis and marijuana
Here, uncut, unfiltered.
while it's legal.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening and supporting, especially our Will Smith Pursuit of Slappiness episode, our highest streamed episode so far. We appreciate all the love and keep sharing, keep listening, keep tuning in. We got some fun stuff planned now in season 2. So I don't really know how seasons work for podcasts, whatever. I'm going with it.
We're going with
We're
it.
going with it. Like with the
season 2.
perfectionism. Who knows?
Who knows?
So thank you all for listening. See you around.
See you around the way.